To our continuing coverage this morning in South Florida, the Broward County Sheriff paying respect to the 17 people killed in that mass shooting just 3 days ago. Many of those victims are being laid to rest this weekend.
I want to pay homage to these families and to the victims. Carmen Shentrup, Meadow Pollock, Peter Wang, Nicholas Dworet, Christopher Hickson, my very, very, very special friend who I'll miss, Aaron Feiss, Luke Hoyer, Alana Petty, Jamie Gutenberg, Martin Duque Anguiano, Alyssa Al-Hadef, Helena Ramsey, Scott Beagle, Joaquin Oliver, Carol Loughran, Gina Montalto, and Alexander Schachter. May they rest in peace, and may God comfort their families.
Along with that message, in the meantime, President Donald Trump met with the school shooting victims in the hospital. He also spent time with first responders. He commended them for their work during this very trying time. Senator Marco Rubio, Governor Rick Scott, and other officials also joined the president as they recognize heroes in the community. In regards to the investigation, though, we have learned that the FBI was warned about gunman Nicholas Cruz 6 weeks ago. Also, in September, someone alerted the FBI about a disturbing comment on his YouTube page, but the FBI failed to do anything with that information. The community reacting to hearing the news.
17 innocent lives were taken from us because they failed to do this. They failed our school and they failed Harvard.
New surveillance video shows Cruz walking to a McDonald's shortly before his arrest. He told investigators he heard voices in his head telling him to attack his former school. We are also learning that the family repeatedly called police about problems with the shooter. Police records show 39 calls to the shooter's home over the past 7 years for various reasons, including reports of, quote, a mentally ill person, child and elderly abuse, and domestic disturbance calls. Now, his mom had called 911 with concerns about her son being out of control, and even at an early age, his mom at one point had worried that he had an interest in buying a gun. Not all of the calls referred to the shooter, though. Some of those calls included his younger brother. Cruz had legally purchased the rifle he used in Wednesday's shooting. He passed a number of background checks. The system checks for felony convictions, instances of domestic violence, addiction to illegal drugs, and involuntary commitments due to mental illness. Students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School made a lasting impact on another school after a deadly shooting. Virginia Tech's president, Timothy Sands, tweeting his message of thanks to the high school for a gift in 2007. It was this 100-page book handmade by students, and it's now part of Tech's condolence archives. On the front, it reads, in memory of 32, recognizing the 32 killed in that shooting in April of 2007. Two former high school students from Florida had collected letters and artwork from others. The Virginia Tech president saying on Twitter, with heavy hearts, the Virginia Tech community embraces the students, teachers, staff, families, and community of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. We will never forget that you helped us to heal, and we will always be here for you. The shooting in Florida inspiring what law enforcement believe are copycat threats right here at home. Take a look at this map. We know that schools in Dodge City, Salina, Emporia, and even some in Wichita had some sort of threat this week. Just days after the tragic shooting in Florida at that high school, authorities across the country dealing with those threats. Wichita Public Schools had two threats, one of them over at Southeast High School and then another at North High. The principal canceling its homecoming pep rally yesterday as a safety precaution because of a threat. The school had two threats in just 2 weeks. At Southeast High School, parents were picking up their children early yesterday. Students say that a Snapchat picture was circulating that someone was going to shoot up the school. The district and Wichita police, they are investigating the case to determine who sent the threat. Parents say they weren't going to take any risks overall after what had happened in Florida.
It's just that time, you know, everything's happening in Florida and it happens here. So, you know, you just got to take precautions. They're your kids, they're your life.
I feel like you shouldn't even take the chance, even if it is just a joke or a hoax. I mean, with what's been going on, you really don't want to take the chance with all the deaths that have been happening.
The other rumor the district responded to involved Northeast High. The district says the threat originated from an Oklahoma City school, but just as a precaution, there was an increased amount of security on campus. And as we mentioned, this is not just the Wichita School District dealing with those threats. A Bishop Carroll official called police after seeing a threatening social media post. Police arrested a 17-year-old suspect. Over in Dodge City, police there say that they also arrested a 17-year-old student who made a threat to a local high school. In Salina, police tell us that they had stepped up patrols after someone found a threatening note in a middle school bathroom late on Thursday. And then finally, the Emporia Police Department spent yesterday morning tracking down what turned out to be a bogus threat that was discovered on social media. Stay with Cake News as we continue to track the latest on the Florida school shooting right here on Cake, of course, and on cake.com.